and welcome to the Playeressenece Vidcast. I am Francis, here to kick off another vidcast for you guys for this week. And today was kind of light on news for the week. It wasn't great, just kind of like last week. But of course, we've got more games coming out for the Wii U here. We've got God of War coming out this month. BioShock Infinite's also coming out. So things will pick up as soon as those games come out. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just get right into some housekeeping here. I know if you guys are watching on YouTube, what's up? Subscribe to the channel, but also check out the main site as well, Playeressence.com, where we also have reviews, previews, all that good stuff, gaming news. You can check that out too. So, for the opinion articles, we don't have a lot this week. I've been kind of busy getting our new show launched, which is a Playeressence Cross Nintendo, kind of like our Nintendo dedicated vidcast. So check that out on the channel if you don't know about it. But as far as the opinion article that we got, it's a Crysis 3, which is a clear case of graphics over gameplay. I checked out Crysis 3 myself. I played the beta, played a little bit of the single player, and honestly the game's kind of crap. And the reason why I say the game's kind of crap is because it's all substance, it's all flash, no substance. It's like they say, okay, well, we're going to make this game look as pretty as possible, at the cost of it sometimes getting down to 18 frames a second. Yes, I kid you not, 18 frames a second on the PS3 version. I played a little bit of the 360 version. It seems to be a little bit more stable on that, but it still dips. I mean, if you go on the article that I have, it's on the main slider on the website, you'll see the video of the Digital Foundry guys comparing the frame rates, and it dips below, it's not locked at 30, it dips below 30 all the time. So, I mean, Crytek is always touting graphics, graphics, graphics. Okay, fine, but can't you make your game run at a stable frame rate? You know, can't you make your game play well? I'm not a huge fan of games that decide that let's just make this game look as pretty as possible to try to sell it. You should try to make your game better. You know, you should try to make your game, you know, play better and add new mechanics to push the first-person genre forward instead of just being the generic power suit shooter that Crysis 3 is. So I wrote an article about that, talking about, you know, these developers need to really stop and start thinking about new ways to push the genre forward and push the games forward than just making the best looking graphics, because the gameplay suffers, and Crysis 3 is obviously suffering at retail, and it's suffering critically because people are starting to realize that it is just a lot of graphics over gameplay, and it's not that fun. So, but if you enjoyed Crysis 3, that's great. I'm not trying to say that it's a bad game. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's a bad game for other people if you like that, just like shooting and all that in first person. But if you're like me and you kind of want a little bit more substance in your games, Crysis 3, just stay away from it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Playeressenece Now, which is the best news articles from the week. And right now, SimCity is a bit of a hot mess. That game is not working for a lot of people. I know some people it's working, but a lot of people it's not working. But I will say this, as far as EA, my rant on EA goes on. EA will not refund users who bought the game on Origin. So if you bought the game on Origin when it launched, you can't get a refund, even though it didn't work for a lot of people, which is another reason why EA is crap. If the game does not work when you buy it, you should get a refund. And EA, you're a whack for not giving those people refunds. But anyway, enough hate on EA until maybe tomorrow or something. Okay, Wii U update is coming out in April. There's going to be a big Wii U update coming out that's going to fix the loading times of some of the apps and stuff like that. Plus adding new features to Miiverse and video chat and other good stuff like that. So look out for that in April. We're, you know, a little less than a month away from that. So Wii U owners, get ready for that. Okay, next, Lost Planet 3. That game was kind of out there last year, and then it disappeared for a while, and now it's back. And it actually stars Jesus Christ if you look at the trailer. No, I'm joking. It's not really Jesus, but dude got a beard like him. But anyway, they've announced, Capcom has announced the release dates for the US and Europe. US users can expect to get it on June 25th, while European users can expect to see that on June 28th. All right. So hopefully, Lost Planet fans, look forward to that. It's going to be more of a shooter this time. There was an interview with one of the guys on the team. It's made by Spark, I think the people who did Medal of Honor. So it's definitely going to be more of a shooter-focused game. So be ready for that. Next news here. Tomb Raider has seen 1 million players log traffic online, according to the brand manager, Carl Stewart. So it looks like Tomb Raider is starting off pretty well. 1 million people have already logged online to their servers, either playing multiplayer or single player. So that's good for Square Enix and that's good for, you know, the gaming industry, that there's this nice reboot of Lara Croft, and a lot of people are really like having fun with the game. It looks gorgeous. I still haven't got to play it yet, but I look forward to maybe getting my hands on it at some point. And there has been reports that some stores are kind of low in stock, so I can assume that the game is also selling really well. So that's good for Tomb Raider, good for Square Enix. All right, next, God of War Ascension. Yes, God of War Ascension. It is. It's going to have some pretty cool features. Of course, you know that there's multiplayer, competitive multiplayer, and there's also going to be co-op in the game. I forgot what it's called, but there's going to be co-op where you basically fight through waves of enemies like a horde mode. And after 5 waves, you fight a boss battle, and of course you can grind XP, get new weapons, things like that. So that looks really cool, and God of War Ascension looks great. Right now, the early reviews are starting to trickle in here and there, and it does kind of seem more like something that was put together a little bit quicker than maybe some of the other God of War games. I'm not really sure. The single player does seem to be lacking in some areas according to some reviews, but definitely you need to go out there and check it out yourself. I will also be playing the game at some point, so I'll see. But I mean, you've got to expect that there's going to be some elements of the single player taken away because time and resources is spent on doing competitive multiplayer, which takes a ton of time and testing to do, and, you know, co-op. So you got to expect that it's not going to be as epic or as some of the other God of War games that were just, you know, focused on single player. So that's to be expected. But hey, it is what it is. It's probably still going to be a really good game. Okay, and the last bit of news here, Assassin's Creed 4 is being developed by around, I think, about 8 studios is developing Assassin's Creed 4. So not like full development. Of course, the main team, I think, is Ubisoft Montreal, or whatever the case may be, or one of those, Montpellier. No, not Montpellier. Ubisoft Montreal is developing the main game, most of it, but there's at least 7 other different studios in Ubisoft's branch that are developing some parts of the game. Now, this game's not going to be as bad as the game that I'm about to say, but I remember Aliens Colonial Marines had the same thing where it's like multiple different developers handling it. So I'm just a little worried about how many developers handle it, and I'm a little worried about cost. Is this what it's going to take to make AAA games? I mean, next generation, you need 8 teams to make a game. I mean, I'm a little worried about Ubisoft. That's a little crazy, but hey, it's their game. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag looks kind of cool from the trailers and stuff. So hopefully it doesn't turn into a train wreck. All right, and the last thing here, we're going to get into the main discussion for this week. And the main discussion, we're going to talk about graphics versus gameplay. This has been a big debate, especially with the Wii U and the 3DS versus like the PS4 and the Xbox 720 when that gets announced, and the Vita. There's a lot of people out there that really like graphics. You know, you want to see a leap in graphics, and you want to, you know, see that the games look better. But as you can see from this last generation, so going from the PS2 to the PS3, now to the PS3 to the PS4, the gap has shortened, because there's reports around, you know, the PS2 compared to the PS3, there's about a 20 times leap in power from those two systems, right around there. Now, EA has now stated that there's about an 8 to 10 times leap from the PS3 to the PS4. So as you can see here, it is, you know, it's not as big as a leap, because obviously cost-wise, the PS3 was massive in cost, and Sony cannot afford to, you know, bring out another console that's going to be uber expensive again, you know. So obviously graphics play a part into it, but what I want to talk about is the dynamic between graphics and gameplay, because I've always been a gameplay fan, and I'm not just saying that because, you know, oh, Nintendo fan just likes, you know, gameplay because the Wii U doesn't produce graphics as high as PS4 and Xbox 720. No, I'm also looking forward to good graphics on the Wii U. I'm also looking forward to seeing what Nintendo can do with their graphics. I mean, I'm looking at like the Monolith Soft trailer, for instance, and showing that that's good enough for me. It's huge open world. The models look great. The monsters look great. I mean, does it look as good as, I don't know, The Witcher or whatever is coming out, The Witcher 3? Maybe not, but who cares? Because really, all it comes down to, is it in HD? Yes. Widescreen? Yes. Now, how's the game play? It really matters how you play, because there's been a lot of games out there that look great and play like crap. So, I mean, for instance, for me, like Gears of War, not that it plays like crap, but I see that game and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this looks great, but I really don't like the gameplay. So I'm more worried about gameplay over graphics, because now we're in the HD era. Everything is HD. I've got a really nice PC here that can play really high-end games, you know what I'm saying, that look great. I was playing DMC Devil May Cry on here, and it looked fantastic, better than anything I've seen on the PS3 and Xbox 360. So we're moving into the HD to another HD, so more HD systems. So now games really need to prove gameplay-wise that they fit the bill, because it's the point of diminishing returns. You know, it's almost coming to the point to where it's like, okay, well, I've seen the awesome graphics, I've seen games maxed out, I've seen The Witcher 2 maxed out, I've seen everything, and yes, they look good, but how do they play, you know? So for me, it's more about gameplay, especially in this new era, because we're going from another HD system to another HD system. I want to see how these games play. That's fine if you have pretty graphics. That's great that Killzone Shadowfall looks fantastic, but to be honest, I didn't really like the other Killzone games because they didn't play that well to me. So as great as Killzone Shadowfall looks, I'm not interested. Now I am interested in seeing what they do with like Final Fantasy with that graphics and that gameplay. How are they going to innovate? Because Final Fantasy 13, you know, was all about graphics and the gameplay sucked. A lot of times developers focus on one thing and they focus on graphics too much, and then they lose sight of gameplay. And that happened with Final Fantasy 13. It's linear until like the very end of the game, and on top of that, it's just not what fans were wanting. And then they try to fix it with X2, but they've already been screwed because the battle system was so bad, because they're just focused on how it looks and cinematic fighting, you know. They really need to start focusing on gameplay, because now we have great systems that are all capable of HD graphics. The game is going to look good no matter what. Now focus in on graphics, make your games play well, and that's what I would tell developers. And that's why I'm happy with what's, you know, with what the Wii U's doing right now. It seems like there's a lot of games in the pipeline that play great, like Bayonetta 2. You know Bayonetta 2 is going to play great. Like The Wonderful 101, that has Kamiya behind it. You know, the creator of Devil May Cry. You know what I'm saying? The creator of Okami, the guy that's worked on so many of these great games that have awesome gameplay. He's working on that, so I know the gameplay is going to be good there. I already know, like playing like the Monolith Soft games, like Xenoblade, great gameplay. So now I want to see what the PS4 and Xbox 720 do to innovate within the games. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how they innovate within them. I do like the features that the PS4 bring to the table. I do like that. Now I want to see them integrate that into gameplay, and I want to see them innovate within their genres. I want to see if Killzone Shadowfall innovates within the first-person genre. Does it take gameplay further, or is it just another pretty shooter? That's the one thing that I do want to see from next-gen consoles. Now, let me know what you guys want to see. Are you more graphics over gameplay? Do you need to have a balance? What is it to you? Please put your comments below. Send me a question if you want me to answer anything. I don't have any user questions right now from anybody that submitted any. But if you have a question, you can send it to my inbox on YouTube, or you can put it in the comments below. Email me at francis@playeressence.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. Once again, I'm Francis, and I am up and out of here, guys. Peace out.